Okay, so we're going to go through the banded Yuris setup and exercise demonstration. So the first thing to go through is the setup for the exercise. So what we can see here, and there is obviously going to be variation with your own racks and setup in the gym, but the core premises of the setup involve having bands set up on a hook where we're able to push these bands forwards and they're not going to come undone. Obviously think about it snapping backwards. So you want them secure on a J hook like I've got here. And what we're also going to need is a handle. So obviously the options I've got here is to hold on to the J hooks at the top here, or to hold on to the bar. And we want these at a good distance apart, and you'll see why that's going to be important in a second. The bands are going to be at just below hip height, so where we sort of have to lift them up to get them into our hips, and it'll become apparent with the setup. You can sort of see more of what we're doing and why when we get to the setup. So yeah, as we can see, it's all set up so that I'm able to move in a fashion where we're going to be moving about 45 degrees. So, and as you can see from the side, bands are set up and the bar is set up at about a 45-degree angle up from where I am. So, as I'm sure I've discussed with you in your programming, this movement is all about hip extension. So what we're looking to do is sit down into a position where we've got the hips fully flexed back and the foot is resting about in line or just behind the hips. And what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to explode forwards in a fashion where I'm trying to emulate almost like an accelerated start, where I'm trying to push the bands forwards or driving my knee up and finish in almost like a wall drive position. Obviously, remember that this is, well, first of all, this is a live rep. This isn't a demonstration rep. And also that this is a very explosive movement. So we're going to be doing a lot of work in a very short amount of time. What I'm also trying to do is pull forwards with my hands with the bar to come into this position. So what we'll see is I'll explode up and through. Driving forwards, pushing and extending from the hips. So as we can see, it's all in that left glute. I'm driving hips forwards and back. So we'll just go through that again. So sat down on the heel of my foot. I'm going to drive up into as best of a wall drive position as I can from this position here. Driving up, pushing through. Explosive movements, hips back, hips push through. And the same on the other side. That's it, nice and explosive. Tailor and work around with the band, so figure out how much band resistance you need. It's going to be quite difficult to sort of find out where you should be. So play around with it, see what works. You'll find, when it's too much, when you sort of can't fully extend, or when it's too little, when you just feel like you're flying forwards. And work with me on your setup and how to sort it all out.